Good evening, everybody. Let's see who's in here. Your time is up, MT Homestead. All right, we've got Old School Catholic in here and Mary Ann Bimler. There's why am I not scrolling? Oh, because there's nothing to scroll. So, and Heather Landstrom. There's Rebecca Touched by Yarn. You're starting to come in. There's my buddy Chris of Adventure Awaits, and there's Plywood. Good evening, and thank you everybody for coming in. Man, that week went by fast, and I guess that's the way it goes when you're busy. It's been a busy week. Today was we had Saturday and Sunday without the Amish here working on the houses. And then they came yesterday, or I'm sorry, when they came Monday, they were not here. No, they came yesterday and they were not here today. And they come Friday, and then the whole next week they're going to be banging at it again. They had another project they had to be working on. It was scheduled before they scheduled us. There's Hiking with Jackie Boy. Good evening. Thanks for coming in. I saw your video. You and Justin. Where's Justin's video? Did he not do one? Or did he just not edit it yet? So what else was going on? Yeah, it's good. I had a couple of days I had to catch up and get some materials. The materials I really need are back ordered till the 8th of April. So hopefully I could work around those materials pretty good. And I know the corners can go on last. And if I had to, I could do it myself. No big deal. If I could do all of it myself, I just couldn't do it all myself. If that made any sense. I know how to do all of it myself. I just couldn't do it. There's too much to do. Let's see. There's Todd Leginus. Looking forward to seeing you. You are coming to the Bar Run Forge meetup, right? I think you said Saturday or something like that. Sheena Sales. Thrifty Treasures. Well, welcome. Thank you for coming in. I know you're new to this channel. I haven't seen you before, so welcome. There's Gillum Farms. Hey. I want to know what you're doing with that Jeep. And good evening, Pooch of Pretty and Pooch. There's Bill, my Alaska. So you got another chunk of snow, huh, Bill? I saw your video what was a short? That was a 3-minute short, wasn't it? Wanda Henry is in here, and so is DJ Turneroo and Old Man King Homestead. And he is on afterwards. After my live is up, you can go over there and check out what he's got going on. Probably something about chicken or something. So this is an open mic, as always, or most like 95% of the time anymore. So come on up. Come up and tell us about your week. Here's Hugo Homestead and Duncan Family Farm and Old Path. It jumped just as I was trying to read the last part. Woodworks. So last week I told you that they finished my house. There's some, I'm going to put window trims on all of it. I mean, I could get away without doing it at all, but I want more substantial window trims other than what the J channel type windows have on them. So, but we'll be doing my parents' house first when it comes to that, because then my windows are smaller. So I can take all the smaller pieces that didn't fit on their house. Efficiency there. That's my efficiency. There's Lori prepping for heaven, and howdy. There's Bar Run Forge. Man, I can't wait to see your shop. You're gonna keep it a sneaky secret until after the meetup, huh? So I think last week they were basically just starting on my parents' house. From what I mean, I had done a fair bit of the siding by myself with not by myself, me being up on the ladder and doing it, my dad lifting me with the tractor bucket and the I made a like scaffold that goes on the front loader, and that's how he was lifting me up to put parts and pieces on the house. And we got somebody in the basement. We got 2 peoples in the basement. Boom and bam.
I had to beat Johnny in.
You did by like not even a whole second. You're slow, Johnny. Slow tonight.
Doing all right. Gotta get this a little bit farther away from me here. It's too much Johnny on there.
Man, Johnny, you don't know how close I was to buzzing my beard down to the size you got right now.
Yeah. I tell you what, whenever you eat, go eat a big messy sandwich somewhere sometime that's got like a lot of mayonnaise and ketchup and mustard and stuff in it. And yeah, you'll be like,
You're telling me? You're telling me? Go to like any like family restaurant and order their house hamburger.
Yeah.
Miserable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
miserable.
you can get you one of those masks, that people wear, and you can just kind of pull it under your mouth there and just leave it right there and eat, kind of use it as a diaper.
So then you have the diaper with junk all over there.
Right. But at least it's not.
So now you look like a moron. You look like a moron with junk on your face.
Yes, there's too much, Johnny. I'm telling you, Bar. Troy. Oh, been one of them days.
Let's see. What did he say? Is there such a thing as too much? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering if he was saying something about a shop or something. Pretty sneaky peek. You got the only sneaky peek. Well, aren't I special?
There you go. It saves your shirt from getting dirty. I think that's supposed to be shirt from getting dirty.
Oh, so I got to go in with a bib, a mask with a slit in it.
No, your beard is saving your shirt.
Still have it all running down my face.
Oh man! Hey, Lori.
I did.
Hey, Marianne.
It's funny when my beard was just a young big beard.
Linda.
I went to a restaurant with my niece, and that was the last time I ordered a house hamburger at any restaurant.
Yeah.
I have to eat stuff that you use utensils.
Yeah.
I don't have that problem.
No.
No.
Well, now when I'm at home, I could just shove it tuck it under my shirt and bow down.
Tuck it in your shirt. Yeah. But one thing about it is when it's cold outside, you can definitely tell whenever you trim your beard. It's a big change. I think the day I had mine, whenever I cut mine where I had nothing on the sides recently, I went in, it was cold, but my face was woolly and I was fine. I come out and I was like, ooh, wow, is this what people feel like with no beard?
Well,
But
every time I want to go chop it off, for some reason it proves to me I want to keep it. Because once you chop it off, you have to wait another 2 years to grow it back if you're going to have it.
it doesn't take that long to grow a beard.
Well, was it? No, it was more like 8, maybe a year and a half. I don't know.
You can.
It grows a half inch per month, average.
Okay, you're okay. I mean,
Slow
I think
growing.
mine. It depends upon the person, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, Johnny, I'm sure you could just fling one out of your chin.
Johnny's like Homer Simpson.
I tell you what, since I had the goatee, like what, 2 months ago, I've trimmed this beard. I mean, completely went over this beard 4 times since then because it gets too.
We'll have to start calling you He-Man.
We had to call me. I just need to trim my beard guy. That's what I need to trim. But I put together a video and man, I like it. And it was supposed to come out today at 3:00. And before I even got the description written in, YouTube had thrown up a copyright strike on it. And so it's sitting in queue right now. I mean, right now it's supposed to come out like 4:00 tomorrow, but I what do you call it? Whenever you get a strike, I went in, I disputed it. I disputed the strike, and I'm waiting to hear back from them on whether I can even use it. But the thing is, the music, and I bought the music rights, so I purchased them. So I'm waiting to hear back from them. They said that the artist would have to look over the dispute. And, it's not your normal free YouTube music. In some of my videos, I put in stuff that you have to actually purchase and stuff. So I'm waiting to hear about that one. And no, it's not an auction video, guys. But don't fret. There will be an auction video this week. So,
Troy, if you're going to the bathroom and straining that hard and you get a 5 o'clock shadow, you better go to the doctor. You really need to go to the doctor. It's not
5 o'clock shadow after going to the bathroom. Hey, I'm telling you, like I know some of those Italian folks can, man, they can be like fully bearded in like 2 days.
Well, it's
after
also
shaving completely. Huh?
If you have black hair, then that's also going to show up more.
Well, that's true. It's true. Never had that. So, what you been doing, Bill?
Not much. We got a little snow over the weekend and Monday, and so I had to go out and take care of that. And now it's 40 degrees outside today.
Really? It's sleeting. It's sleeting here, and it's 33.
Yeah,
It was 75 today.
You said that with such glee.
Well, I told you I get 3 measly months of winter, and then I get much better weather than you guys do. Even our worst weather, if we hit 90 like once or twice a year, that's the most of it. And that's not very, we don't like that. We don't like 90 degrees.
We were 79 yesterday. We have big swings.
So I did go straighten up my barn a little, or my garage where I'm going to set up my shop a little bit today. So I got to straighten it up so that I can start doing my videos where I straighten it up in front of everybody.
No, you need to be recording what you did yesterday and today.
You guys are going to hold me accountable in my lives. I'm going to do it in my lives, so therefore I have to do it.
Yeah, it looks like Troy's getting
70?
similar weather. Yeah, we're supposed to be
TJ.
freezing tonight, but Yeah, I'm just glad we're getting a little bit of moisture. I mean, it's like sleet and a little bit of kind of drizzly rain stuff because we've had these wildfires over here, and I've driven past a bunch of them.
Hey, no wildfires in Alaska right now.
Do what?
No wildfires in Alaska right now. Just saying.
Well, that's good because they're down here right now.
But every summer we have hundreds.
Yeah, well, it's because you have all the pines and stuff like that. You have the trees that have the needles and the volatile fuel, and yeah, I can see that. So,
now I know what everybody's going to say when I say this, but according to the weather report, when we have the Bar Run Forge meetup, it looks like it's going to be in the high 60s. That's going to be awesome. If
That's good weather.
If it stays that way, because last week it was saying it was going to be in the mid 50s.
That's a pretty far out there weather forecast.
I know. Over a month. It was right with 10 Killer. It was right when 10 Killer was telling us that we were going to have tornadoes.
Oh, they told you we were going to have tornadoes when
a month out, a month before. I knew it was going to happen.
All right, Todd, that's good to hear. Must have heard our GoPro stories and stuff like that when we were talking on here.
I'm on a GoPro right now.
Yeah,
I hope you got the GoPro brand, because I got an off-market one and it cracked.
Yeah.
The thing that clicks it into the clamp cracked almost immediately.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the mount. You're talking about a mount, aren't you?
It was a gooseneck.
Yeah.
That hooked into a clamp.
Yeah.
And it was a quick connect, and the first thing it did is broke.
Yeah.
I usually buy the off brands, and most of them are good. Occasionally you'll get one that snaps or breaks, but
yeah, when
you're paying 5% of what the GoPro costs, you can afford to bust a couple right away.
Well, I'll tell you, on a lot of these deals, like you'll notice, like this one's on a mount, but you'll notice that on this part of the GoPro where it mounts into stuff, the mounts, whenever you actually go to put it in a new mount, like if you get something that'll just go into, you'll find it's just not quite right. It's just like they almost got it, but they didn't. And you will sit there and fumble and fight and mess with that thing until you finally get it in there. And it just never does seem to be exactly the way you want it, unless you do get GoPro brand.
Right. I've had a couple where those upright mounts that you put the screw in was just a slightly bigger, like a little bit wider. So the GoPro was always loose. Yeah. And if you cranked that down, then eventually the one upright would bust off.
Yeah.
Catching up with the chat a little bit here, we've got Jennifer Ocean Homestead, and Jeff Killian. Thanks for coming in. And there's James Hall. And Linda Peterson.
There's Ace.
Heartland with HQ.
Hey, Heartland.
With Dink and Tank.
Hey, Tamara.
MT Homestead.
Lori's prepping for heaven.
Ace.
Yeah.
Duncan family.
Thank
you all for coming in. Appreciate it.
So today, I had to go to the doctor today. That's always a fun time for me. I just love going to the doctor. But
anyway, or psychiatrist?
Negative. I hate going to the doctor. But anyway, I went to the doctor. So while I'm over there, I got a picture on my phone, and it was one of the cows. And she was in a place that made me think that, we're probably getting ready to have a baby. And I can already hear you out there, Jennifer. I know what you're getting ready to say.
There's something's in here too, or was.
I did too.
I hope he's still here.
I told you there wasn't any. Anyway, so anyway, I'm going to try to find that photo. And what's wild about this photo is where this cow is. That is way up in the woods. And I just I only put the camera there because the last cow that had a calf had one right there under that tree.
Oh wow.
With and that yellow stuff you see on the ground is some hay I hand carried up in the woods and threw down there around that other cow in the snow, or in the cold, to keep the calf warm. And that is the actual cow that's due. And I thought, oh boy, we're going to have a calf today. Well, I went out there and we don't have a calf. So, but anyway,
she might be coming out.
She's looking around. She's looking around. So,
hey, I have to check that out, Bar Run Forge. He says he has a extra metal brake that I could be checking out if I want to possibly purchase it.
I saw one the other day at the auction.
200. Well, how big of a brake is that? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Send me a picture of it.
And I'm thinking about you for something here too, because I'm going to an auction tomorrow that has a lot of metal or woodworking tools.
Yeah.
So
I haven't even got my drill press out of the box yet.
Come on, Brian.
I've been procrastinating, partly because I have to do a review on it, and I hate doing reviews, but I know that reviews are valuable for your channel, so I got to do it.
So they've got a joiner planer, a wood lathe, mini vertical milling machine, and some other things. So, yeah, I like shiny things too.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to talk about that.
Ticked off the neighbors by cutting the grass. I can see how that would tick off the neighbors, depending upon how tall their grass is. Like if their grass is really tall and you cut it, yours, it makes it look even taller.
Man, I misread your messages way wrong, Bar Run Forge. He wants me to buy his metal brake and I can use it when I go to his place.
There you go.
Well, right on.
Right on.
Let's get on that plan. That sounds like a good deal.
You never know. If I see something that comes up reasonable enough, you're liable to have something sitting here whenever you show up in Oklahoma. You'll be going, I don't know that I need that. And I said, well, okay.
Send me a picture of it anyway, Troy, if you have one. Is it worth $200?
Yeah, the other thing that it could have aggravated them with Lori is the sound of the mower. I guess the sound of the mower. What time you mowed the yard, or something like that. I don't know. You never can tell. That's why I'm glad we live so far out here. We don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Reverend Joe Jacobson's in here. Good evening. Bless you too.
You're Reverend Joe.
I'm glad I don't have neighbors like that.
So tell us a little. I don't expect that you did anything on the Jeep yet. You probably got a lot of stuff going on. But what did you think of that video I sent you about raptoring it?
About raptoring?
Raptor truck spray.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
I wouldn't suggest you do it on yours. I would suggest you do it on Christine's.
Yeah, I've been watching so much stuff on Jeeps lately. It's almost like my whole YouTube feed right now is all about CJ5 Jeeps.
You're right.
And, I've learned a ton about these things. And I am so excited about, getting these things going. This one out here, the last one I bought, it's so complete. Me and Christine were doing a walk around on it last night. I mean, it's got every single little thing. It's got one thing that's pretty rare on a Jeep, and that's dual fuel tanks on a CJ5.
Oh, wow.
And because most CJ5s have a lift-up toolbox lid underneath the passenger seat, And, you know, I lifted up the passenger seat and I'm like, man, it just looks like the fuel tank on the other side. And and it is, it's dual fuel.
Was
And
that
those
factory?
things have a real small fuel tank. So I guess it's a special order deal or something like that. And I'm going to try to clean both fuel tanks out. You can purchase them, and I'm going to try to clean them out. And we'll see how all works out. But I think this thing is going to be pretty cherry when I get done with it.
What kind of restoration are you going to do? Keep it
I'm
rustic?
going to do what we when you say restore, I'm going to do a resurrection on it, not a restoration.
So keep it rustic.
I'm going to keep it, you know, we're going to keep the patina for sure. I am going to straighten out some body panels on it. It's going to be like this. Okay. Good enough for who it's for. You know what I'm saying? Well, not for her. Hers is going to be good enough for her, and mine's going to be good enough for who it's for. So that means that I'll straighten it up some and stuff like that. But I'm going to keep the patina on it, and I'll put new tires, but I want to keep like period type correct stuff on it. I don't want to jack it way up and put big meats on it and all that stuff. I just want to make it a little 4-cylinder CJ5 Jeep, you know, kind of like, you know, just something I can throw a fishing rod in the back of it and just jump in it, putter it down to the river or the pond or creek or whatever. And I do want to put a winch. The one thing I do want to put on is a winch, because I'm going to attempt to get that thing up to where I deer hunt, which is way up the mountain. I mean, it's pretty hectic trip for a four-wheel drive four-wheeler, pretty narrow spots, but I think I can get that Jeep there. So I'm going to try all that. So, but first off, I've got to unfreeze the stuck engine and then work on getting it running and make sure all the fluids are changed and all that. I'm going to do it all on video, so it'll be out there.
Troy sent me pictures of that metal brake. That is sweet looking. That's an antique. Give me an example of what did he say? He said it was capable of doing 13 gauge. How thick is that?
Pretty thick.
Yeah.
16 is what normally is on roofs.
Yeah, unless you get somebody that cheaps out on you and puts like 19 or
so 13 gauge is pretty thick.
Oh, so it's hot. Okay. So 15 gauge is metal roofing, right?
16 is normal metal roofing or metal siding.
And the smaller the number, the thicker.
Yes.
Just like wire.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome, Troy.
So it do any, like, if you were doing body work on vehicles and stuff like that, it'd be way more than enough to do that kind of stuff.
Critter Creek is in here.
Hey, Mickey. We'll see him at Team Killer. Nice. So Mickey did an actual ad for the Team Killer YouTube meetup, and you can go on his channel and you can actually check that ad out, and it is awesome. It was I like that ad. I like that where he kind of said something about, you know, he just showed all the amenities and all the good, cool things around there and stuff like that. He also did an ad for the cruise that, you know, a lot of folks are going to go on in August this year.
Right.
How bad do you want that break, Troy?
I think Troy needs to do a fundraiser live.
What's that?
I think Troy needs to do a fundraiser live to raise money for the break.
I thought of a metal brake as kind of doing sheet metal break. I actually was thinking of getting, before I decided that we were going to have the Amish do our house, I was going to look for a metal break, and it would have been worth it, because then I could have, if I didn't need it after the job was done, I could always have sold it again.
So what do you think about the quality of work that they're doing?
I think they're better than anybody else I would have had do it.
Yeah.
There's things, and usually, and they're really, I mean, like if I say, that's not working for me, change it, and they'll do it. And there's no, attitude about it or nothing. I actually have a pretty good, what do you call it? Communication with them.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Well, it's like this. I did one of the sides of the house before, and they copied, because the other side of the house is identical. They took all that stuff and did it exactly the way I would have done it. So I'm very
a quarter of the time, right?
Like I was really struggling to get done what I did, and I wasn't even finished with it. They're practically finished with both sides.
Right.
Well, and there's the other. I mean, there's 4 peaks, major peaks on the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of always known it, but I do realize here my channel name is The Vineyard Farmhouse, and nobody has ever seen The Vineyard Farmhouse. So when the video comes out, you guys are going to see it, and some of you are probably going to be like, whoa, we weren't expecting that. We weren't expecting that at all. My house is just a little ranch, but that house it's going to look a little complex. But, it's kind of, because there's sections of the house that have plywood still, and the plywood was, water discolored. And I was like, I don't want to show that. I want to show that on my channel.
Hey, you got to show it the good with the bad.
Exactly.
Well, it is. I did do it in the videos I showed.
I mean, you can't just show everything being perfect and good all the time and stuff like that, because then you get into the friggin' Pinterest mindset, where every picture on Pinterest is just like the absolute perfect of the best of the best of the best of the best, and stuff like that. You've got to show how things actually are, so people know what realism is. This is real. I did. Yeah, and that's the reason why
you're gonna see some stained plywood, water damaged. It is not water damaged. You could still put a nail through it just fine.
That's the reason I've got some videos out there that have the inside of my shop where my GTO is and stuff. And like some people are probably looking at, how can he work in there? He can barely get around the car, and stuff like that. And it's true, guys. I can barely get around the car. And if you're going to build a shop,
look at where I'm living.
Make sure that whatever you think that you really need in a shop, make it half again bigger than that.
Go as big as you possibly can.
If I could organize my shop, I think it'd be perfect size. There is a section of it that needs to be completely cleared out, and it's even capable of holding heat and air conditioning, so that would be good too. Plus, I kind of need a room in my house. I'm going to make a room in my house where I can do paint. When I make something, then I'll go in there and paint it, where I have nice clean air and all that stuff.
Johnny, what size is your shop?
We have 2. One is 30 by 40, and then the other one is 30 by 50. And I really wish in the 30 by 50 we did it because where we live here, the ground, the level, what we had to build for a pad, how much material we had to bring in, stuff like that. When we really got it all laid out, I had a contractor build the shop, and when we finally got it all laid out and stuff, they started drilling holes and putting it together, and they got like all the poles in and got, basically they had it framed out. All it needed was 10 and the concrete. And I was sitting there and I was going, man, we probably should have went an extra, like we could have went an extra 6 feet long on the shop.
All right.
I didn't realize that, but we could have went an extra 6 feet long, and I could have went about 2 feet deeper. And I asked him, I said, could we have done that? And he said, oh yeah, we could have made it any, width, length you wanted. And I was going, oh, I wish I'd have done that, because 2 feet over 2 feet, over 50 feet of length is quite a bit.
Yep.
And then you put 6 feet on the end of 30 feet of length. That's a lot too. And it would have been, twice the ideal size might be good if you can afford it. I think a 40 by 60 is a good shop size.
My shop that I plan on building attached to the house is going to be a 40 or 50 by 60.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And the house will be 50 by 25. So the whole building is 50 by 85.
One feature.
Living in it.
What's that?
You're going to live in it.
Yeah. The house will be right attached to the shop. So the whole building's
going to be a
50
barn
by
mini.
85. Yep.
One feature that Pretty and Pooch have on their shop that I would definitely want if I were to ever build a shop is an outdoor covered patio area to work in.
Yeah.
Because that's nice. And on a beautiful day, you could go out there and take your project and work on it.
Well, I'm still wanting to do a covered apron on the front of ours. That's one of the things we should have done it when we built it. We should have put a covered apron on it, because things have just gotten more expensive.
You're right.
Last Breath Woodworks. You're new to me. Thank you so much for coming in. Are you new to me? Does that sound familiar to you from last week, maybe?
I don't recognize it, but
I was.
Well, welcome.
Last week I wasn't on panel.
yeah, I don't think I was either. But
No, but
I believe I was here though.
You were there, Johnny. You were in the chat. I saw you.
I was in the chat, but I don't recall, because we would have talked about it. And then people will change their channel name, and it'll be somebody you've known forever, but they got a new channel name. So
Kind of like me. I'm on my third name technically.
Oh yeah, I remember when you were Last Frontier,
Last Frontier
Last
Cabin.
Frontier Homestead.
The first one was Last Frontier Cabin, because it was just my remote cabin stuff. And then when I moved up to this place, I changed it to Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead. And everyone got confused with Alaska, the Last Frontier TV show.
Yeah, if you try to pull up your channel and you start putting in that Last Frontier stuff, you get a ton of stuff before you get the bill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Well, I had totally even forgotten about the TV show. It never even occurred to me until after the fact. It's like, oh crap.
I'm curious, Last Breath Woodworks, where did you hear about my channel from? Or did I see you in a chat somewhere? Maybe that's why you kind of look familiar.
They said they popped in here a couple of times before.
Yeah, I know it kind of rings a bell.
Hi, Mitzi.
Mitzi.
Mitzi DeLuca.
DeLuca. Hello. Thank you for coming in.
So, but I guess everybody's getting pumped up for all their meetups. I know Bill has a meetup up in Alaska.
June
That one's in,
21st.
when is that one? Is it in June or July?
Yeah, June 21st. It's just a one day. June 21st.
June 21st. And they have a pretty neat little meetup up there. I got to watch the video on that last year. And then
we get 20 or 30 channels that show up and maybe a handful of subscribers.
That's pretty good. You know, that was the first one you guys did last year. And
second one last year.
oh, was that the second one? I
Yeah.
thought it was the first
Yeah.
one.
This one will be the third.
Okay. So, and then Bar Run Forge is having a meetup on April 25th, 26th, 27th. And also the 10 Killer YouTube meetup is April 25th, 26th, 27th. And but his is in Ohio, we're in Oklahoma, so the two O's are having a meetup on the same weekend.
And I'm probably the only one that conflicts with that one.
Well, we won't next year, because next year we're going to back it up a week. We wanted to back it up a week this year so we wouldn't conflict with that, but we couldn't because it was Easter. The weekend before was Easter, and we're like, but next year it shouldn't be Easter the weekend before. So we're going to try to back it up. And then there's the Mid-America YouTube meetup. And that one's May.
Middle of May.
May, what is it? Let me look.
It's middle of May sometime. That's all I remember.
It's the 16th, 17th, and 18th of May.
Right.
So, and that one's at Lake Eufaula.
Just south of 10 Killer, right?
Huh?
Just south of 10 Killer Lake.
Yeah, it's
kind of.
Yeah, if you go like west and south,
West or
Eufaula Lake is a really big lake. Eufaula, the one thing about Eufaula, depending upon when you're there, it can either be really nice looking water or it can be really red looking water. And it's because it's in red dirt country, what we call red dirt country here in Oklahoma. And so when they have any kind of runoff or like the spring flooding, stuff like that, it'll be, that lake is the reddest thing you've ever seen.
That would be cool to see.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty
if
cool.
you've never seen it before,
it'd be pretty cool yeah, if you dip your hand in the water and you can't see anything below what you dip in the water, it's really cool. And then there's the but 10 Killer typically stays the same. It's pretty clear year round, so it's a pretty decent lake as far as coloring year round. But it's more of it's got really clear streams that run into it though. So
okay, now I can say I remember Last Breath Woodworks because she I don't know. I didn't know if you were he or she. Sorry. But I recognize the thumbnail now, or the icon for being in Bearded Viking. Look at Troy going on and on. I got a 20 by 40, 15 by 38, and it keeps going on and on. And then I got Doghouse and Bailey Woodworks is in here. Good evening. He was making fake Apple tags. Wait a minute. What are those called again? Tags, the little round things. Those are Apple tags, right?
Claude says what caused the red color in Oklahoma? It's a clay soil. It's not actually like clay, and it's like the consistency of a loam, but it's a clay loam. And I tell you what, that stuff, whenever it's on a road, like if you drive down a dirt road and it's one of these red roads, what I call them, there's no rock in it. It's just a red soil. When it's dry, it's just perfect. I mean, you can drive up and down them all day long. if it starts sprinkling, you better find a way off that road somewhere, because you will get stuck right in the middle of the road in 4-wheel drive. And I mean, not sinking, just sliding around on top of it. It's like trying to drive on ice. Yes, very sloppy. My little 4-wheel drive Nissan. I went out to western Oklahoma on a deer hunt one time, and the guy told me, he said, "Yeah, if it doesn't rain, we'll hunt over here." But I got there a day early, and he told me, he said, "Well, you can drive around that section and kind of look around. We can hunt everywhere inside this one section." So I'm driving around this section, right? I'm just driving, looking, across, scoping across these fields and stuff like that, wheat fields. And all of a sudden this shower come up, and I'm in my 4-wheel drive Nissan pickup. I'm thinking, no big deal. I mean, good mud tires. I'm all good. A shower come up, and I got stuck right in the middle of that road on a flat spot. I mean, there wasn't even an incline. It was just flat. And I was just sitting there doing this, all 4 tires. I had to walk somewhere and find somebody with a tractor to pull me out. All the way down that road to get out of there.
James says some people call it red dirt dumb.
Red dirt dumb.
Red dirt dumb.
Yeah. One thing I never said, well, I wish I'd built that smaller. Right. Like driving on grease. That's exactly right.
Oil on glass.
Yeah, it's not cool. Try living by Lake Thunderbird. We call it Dirty Bird Go Swimming. Come out with a red dirt tan. That's right. That's right. No matter what it'll be, you'll have red tint to your.
Isn't there a channel named Red Dirt something?
Well, there's Red Dirt Rooster Road.
So is that what that comes from?
Yeah, I'm sure they're in that red dirt country. So, but yeah, I try to stay out of the red dirt country as much as I can, because that stuff just, your clothes end up horrible in that country. So,
He likes to ride on boulders.
huh? Yeah, we got rocks.
You like to ride on rocket boulders.
Yeah, everything is a rock over
Okay,
here.
is there a name for that kind of rock that road that goes to your house?
Yeah, that's flint.
Now that is not a kind of rock I've ever seen before.
It's flint rock.
And it looks.
It's flint rock. It's what they made arrowheads out of way back in the day, and they used flint and steel, create fire, etc., etc. That's flint.
Hey, Tony.
Fire. Troy.
Hey, Tony.
I mean, Tony, I meant.
Hi, Evelyn.
Tony, I meant.
Hey, everyone.
Tony's over in that red dirt country.
Evelyn Newman.
He can probably tell you about some greasy roads over there.
Man, I tell you, most of the winter, my place was either ice or greasy.
Yeah.
We get ice up here all winter long, or sometimes in the winter.
Todd, if you've been to Lawton, that is like far southwestern Oklahoma. I mean, you're as far away from me as you can get over there, unless you go to the very tip of the Panhandle, which is basically over in Colorado. But yeah, that's a ways over there from here.
Now, if you go to Bill, my Alaska's short, was that today you did that?
Yes.
With the ice?
Yes.
That ice was like, it was a texture I've never seen before. I know that you raked it up, but that was weird.
Yeah, what happened was we had such of a weird winter this year. I had a good solid 4 to 5 inches of solid ice on my driveway. And it's been the last couple of weeks, it's been getting up into the 40s and sunny. So it was just a pure sheet of ice, like slippery ice. I could feel my truck like sliding sideways, and I had it in 4-wheel drive going down the driveway and stuff. And so I come home 2 Saturdays ago, and I'm like, I almost slid right off the road, and I was going about 10, 15 mile an hour turning onto my driveway. And I'm like, if emergency services had to get in here, they'd slide right off the driveway down into the ravine. So I fired up my excavator, put the digging bucket on it, and just started clawing at all the ice and just popping it up and stuff like that. So what you saw was the after effect of doing that. It was super jaggy and dug up and stuff like that. But
So
go ahead.
what truck were you driving?
My Toyota Tundra,
Okay.
4-wheel drive, and I got a good ice tires on it, fairly new ice tires on it, and I was still I could feel my truck going like this, going back the driveway and stuff like that. But it's because it was so smooth and had warmed up during the daytime that it got that layer of melted ice, melted water on it.
Yeah.
And it was just so slippery. So I just got out the excavator and just popped up chunks of ice everywhere.
So Bill, up in Alaska, I'm not familiar. Up in Alaska, they don't use salt on the roads up there, do they?
No, they use basically 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch gravel on the roads, and sometimes sand on the roads.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to welcome somebody else into the chat.
Hello.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, you're going to tell us a bit of surprise or something for some people that don't know yet, right?
Well, I'll just show it. I have a car now.
Yay.
I have a car
Congratulations.
now.
Does that mean you're going to get to go to meetups?
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. She's
Yes,
going
I
to be
will.
coming to meet up.
I have a 98 Toyota Avalon car.
Cool.
I'm
Dark
so excited.
green.
And it's dark green. Very dark green. Yep, I do have, finally, I have a car.
Well,
It's been a while.
That's awesome.
I'm glad you're
My
happy.
first,
that.
it's my first Toyota. Never owned one. So, hi Heather.
Well, I know they're good cars. I mean, I think as far as cars go, like if we're buying a car for longevity here on our place anyway, we would buy. I mean, number one would be a Honda for longevity. Number two would be a Toyota for longevity, and so because they seem to, just keep going. And the same guy that works on his shop, there's a guy over here that's got a shop, and that's all he will work on is Toyota and Honda. And I guess because he don't like doing a whole lot.
James Hall says he's scheduled out to the 24th of April. What is that about? Does that mean you're going to be able to make a meetup?
I have never had an owner give me all the paperwork. I know when the last rack and pinion was replaced on that car.
That's good.
You
Very
know?
few keep records like that.
I'm glad they did, because you would be wondering, okay, when was the last time that was when was that done?
So does it look like this, Rebecca?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so that's a 98 Toyota Avalon right there.
Cool.
So
I
that's
have
what you
the
got.
I have the XLS, which is leather seats, heated seats.
Oh,
So it's-
wow.
So,
You're
and I,
fancy.
not that I'm saying I'm going to do this. This is just that
And-
trunk is so big that my brother could fit in it.
I'm looking at the pictures of them and stuff like that. And it seems like green was pretty common.
Oh,
Last Breath Woodwork says she's really she. You got to give me your name. I need your name, please.
Probably be Terry.
probably be Terry.
Mickey, if you want to know what a rack, if you ever want to see a rack and pinion one of these days, if you happen to be at the races whenever I'm there, or somehow where the GTO is, I'll show you a rack and pinion. They didn't come with a rack and pinion, but we have a rack on it now because it's a lot lighter steering system.
Yes.
For and I think some of the first cars that came out with it were like the Mustang 2s. And a lot of people did Mustang 2 conversions to get that lighter steering system on their race cars and stuff. But
yeah, everybody hit that like button. Thanks for reminding me.
yeah, when I was in Iraq, the local builders had Toyotas because they just keep running. It's kind of like that joke, you know. Back whenever I was a kid, all we ever had was Fords. So we walked almost everywhere we went.
Evelyn was just saying that I'm gonna love those heated seats. I had a 2001 Chevrolet Impala that was an LS that had heated seats. So yes, I have been missing heated seats.
Hey, my Ford's getting worked on there, Johnny. My 2000 F350 Super Duty is getting worked on right now.
Bill?
Well, I took it in because I could not plug the ICP sensor in. If I did, it would not start up. So I wasn't able to plug it in. And it had like very little power when I was towing my excavator around. I mean, it would go and it'd go up any hill, but I might only be going 10 mile an hour up the hill. But it'd go right up the hill, no problem. And I took it in and I'm thinking, oh great, this is going to be a $5,000 or $10,000 job to me, because he said what might be causing the lack of power is an internal oil leak.
Oh,
so
wow.
Like
an internal
or something internal to the engine might be damaged. So I mean, that's a pull the engine and rebuild it type scenario.
Well, yeah. And the reason for that is because whenever that would be an oil pressure issue, and they will reduce power if they don't sense enough oil pressure.
Right.
And it's basically a self-preservation deal on the engine.
My neighbor has one of the high-end testers that he put on it, and we were not getting oil pressure error and stuff like that, so wasn't sure about that. And then another thing is, when I was driving down the road, turning the steering wheel, it was making a whining noise.
Yeah.
And then a couple other little minor things. So I get the bill back just a few days ago. The steering issue.
Yeah.
He checked it and it was a little bit low on fluid, filled it up, and that's good to go. So he's not even charging me for that.
Yeah.
The IPC sensor, like what happened was my truck actually just died out one day. It was idling. So my neighbor and I, we changed the IPC sensor. We changed the dongle for the IPC sensor. We changed this sensor, changed that sensor, the fuel filter, all this stuff. We just went down a list and finally got it to start back up, but we still could not plug the IPC pigtail into it.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, the previous owner changed out the pigtail and had two of the wires backwards.
Well, how did it run before?
It was never plugged in before.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it was never plugged in. And the previous owner put on a new pigtail, but he got two of the wires back. So when we changed out the pigtail to a new one, we did exact same wires. We did each wire one at a time.
Oh,
so
wow.
we got it backwards too. And then the lack of power, I forget what it's called, but the piece and the downpipes that the turbo sits on,
yeah,
he's changing those out. So the whole job's costing me $1,800.
Okay.
So
cool.
I was expecting $5,000 to $10,000, and now it's going to be $1,800. So I'm happy with that.
All right, people. It's 10 o'clock Central and 11 o'clock Eastern, and it's time to say goodbye to everybody. Last Breath Woodworks name is Josh. He says everybody calls him LBW because there's 5 Joshes in the woodworking community that he's part of. We have one Josh that comes in once in a while, so we can call you Josh if you want.
Yeah. So Josh, we had one of those exploders one time too. How many times have you had to change the heads on it for cracked seats and stuff?
Good night,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, he didn't get to hear much about maker stuff, and I know that's probably why he came in here. But we do talk about maker stuff once in a while. Tonight was the homesteaders hangout. But it's a mix of both. Okay, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you to my moderators. I appreciate what you do for my channel, protecting it and all. And thank you to Rebecca, Bill, and Johnny for coming in on my channel and talking with me this week. And we'll see you next week, Wednesday, 9 o'clock Central. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.